It's Law Nation. Come on. As the room fill up, let's talk about this Ezekiel Elijah Elliott, my dog. That's my dog. Come on. You already know. Cap casualty. Figure out his value first before we can entertain any other thing.
Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender.
No doubt. As the room fill up, be sure, and I mean just that, be sure to smash upon the like button. Come on. Mama said there'll be days just like this. Come on. Come on. Come on. The name is Law Nation. What's up? Good day to you and you. And you over there, good day to you all that's tuning in. All right, so we're going to talk about this Cowboy Nation, casualties in war, right? And I always look at this team and the NFL in general as such. You know, it's always something that goes along the way. And one of the better ways to look at this is making sure that you are better than what you were the previous day. And sometimes people will look at it and say, all right, we're doomed because we're getting rid of this guy, or we doomed because we got rid of that guy. No. Remember what I talked about pruning a tree. Sometimes you got to cut it in order for it to grow or to see where you are at to stop the spread of diseases. So this is what's going on right now. This may be a dis-ease as it relates to the fandom and the star, because a lot of people got Ezekiel Elliott as their favorite running back. Let me know if that the situation and if that the case and the scenario. Shout out to you, Robert Howard. Thank you. He says, Law Nation, you the best, man. I appreciate you. Love you, man. To the sun and back, man. I appreciate you. Christopher says, damn, not Zeke. Yeah, when I heard that report, I was saying, okay. I was saying the same thing, not my guy Zeke, you know, but that's just how it goes. I'm quite sure that sometimes you just got to cut in order to see where things are at. Or this could be a situation whereas the Ezekiel Elliott representatives are looking at this and saying, all right, before we lower our price tag to give you the cut of the pay, the remuneration, let me see where this combine stuff is at. And that is what it is for me. You know what I mean? For Ezekiel Elliott is understanding where's the price points, how much money are you willing to cut and how much money you are willing to keep. And that is all predicated upon the market, and the market sets everything else up from here. The problem is with this is that now here's the truth about this, Cowboy Nation. And I know a lot of people.
When you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud, too.
Here's the truth. You don't know who Ezekiel Elliott is now. Some can argue he's a shell of himself. One can argue he's washed up. Another person can say, no, it was the system that he played in. It was the philosophy that he ran out of. And even if you put up the information, a third of the people will only hear and see what they want, right? And this is just the reality of it. When you look at the numbers of Ezekiel Elliott, I went over this before, and you will see the decline. you would see the numbers dropped. It was like a sliding board. Whee! In 2019. I need an updated chart, but I don't have all of those tools here. But when we look at this thing collectively, we will see 2019, 2020, 2021, right? And we look at those numbers, we look at the attempts, and what we got to understand that even with those things, there's something that happened in 2019. A fall from grace. This is from Jay Lombardi. And then I got Jay Jones. Appreciate you. Boy. We got some dogs up in here. All right, Jay Jones, thank you for the support. He says, what's up, my most valuable YouTuber? Appreciate you. MVY. Go Cowboys. You ain't got no alibi. Come on, baby. Appreciate you so much for that. Thank you for that. So we see those numbers. We see things. It's a fall from grace. Yes, it's also a telltale sign that we had a new offensive coordinator in that year of 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. And now we're looking back at this and we're saying, all right, how can we correct our wrongs? How can we get better, right? Where the rubber meet the road. What philosophy should we go with now? Can Ezekiel Elliott survive and showcase to the world, hey, if I'm Zeke representative, I'll be yelling, hey, I was good until that Detroit Lions game. Y'all saw how explosive I was, man. My client was good. My client was doing all of those marvelous things. He got hurt. And then we had a guy that didn't know how to craft up and draw up and put places and things in the right spots for the running back. But let's listen to 105.3 The Fan. They went over this topic too. And I haven't heard it, so it may be a little off, but let me see what they're talking about. Let me know if y'all can hear audio.
For me, I think it might be in the same room. I think right there in that running back room.
I agree. I think they're going to. I think that they're going to move on from Zeke, much like they did Dez Bryant.
So they're going to nail that one in your mind. They're going to nail it with Zeke. They're going to move on.
Yeah, that's the one where I don't think that they want to embarrass Zeke. So I don't think they want to give him. They don't even want to entertain the off of trying to reduce his salary.
The extreme low ball.
Yeah, I don't think they want to do that to him. And I have a feeling they're just going to straight move on from him like they did Dez Bryant.
Oh,
y'all think that is at play? Do you guys think that will be a situation at play? That they would say, hey, man, Zeke, we like you, dog, but we're not in love with you. All right, now, they could do that, right? It can be a situation. Jerry Jones have to sit down, and he pull out the napkin, and he draw a circle, and then he draw a dot, 2 dots, and he say, see, Zeke, that dot represent me, and that dot right there represent you. And this circle right here is Cowboy Nation, And as big as you and I are, we are not bigger than the nation, So therefore, we're going to have to cut you. Yeah, I think Jerry Jones did that to T.O., or did he do that to Dez Bryant? I forgot which one he did that to. Y'all let me know in the chat. The little circle with the napkin, and he draw the circle with the dots and all of that crazy stuff. But I look at it like he did that with Dez. Appreciate you. Boy, y'all got memory like an elephant over here, man. I appreciate you. So Tyrone Church said he did that with Dez, right? He drew the circle and the dot and everything, and he was saying that this is me, this is you, but this is a bigger situation. I love you, but I can't, And that is a situation that, no. They said T.O. Okay, so now y'all saying he did that with T.O. I'm going to have to find the audio, you know. The craziest thing with T.O., we wasn't paying him a lot of money. We were not paying him a lot of money at the time. It was, he had like 2 years left on his contract. And somehow, you know, things didn't match up and he had to get rid of T.O. And here's the common trend with this. Here's the common trend. The Cowboys realize what they need, and we move too slowly. We have the right intentions. Old folks say this, write this down. There are people in hell with good intentions, right? Where you thought that, hey, what you were doing, we're right. Doing all of the wrong things for the right reasons. And the problem is the Cowboys tend to move a little slow. Look, it would have benefited Tony Romo to have Dez earlier, right? A Dez-like earlier in his career. Keep this in mind. I'm going all the way back, you know, so that we can understand where we're going with this. Keep in mind, when the Cowboys front office added more weapons to even Tony Romo, you know, Terrell Owens were 33 years of age. That was a long tooth. And he's supposed to be that difference maker for, dare I say, the Dallas Cowboys. Law, do you have any more truths to this? Well, we're seeing some of the same things now, that you would want to have a team consistently in the playoffs, but we take away our talent. And we say, hey, we add more talent, but at less of value and as less as talent. And we say, make it happen. And I know it sounds like bevies of excuses, but at some point we can look back at this and say, yeah, last year, James Washington, you know, wouldn't have been the answer. But Law, we clearly could have still beaten the 49ers, granted, which is absolutely true. But think about this. Have you ever thought about it in this particular way? Everybody listen to what I have to say. If we made it that far, 12-5, with that amount of talent, what would we be doing if we had more talent last year? It would have been even further, right? So that's how I perceive and view it. So the whole thing is, the whole issue that I had with my guy Ezekiel Elliott is, granted, we've seen generational talent. We've seen skill sets that you can literally argue that his numbers in his earlier careers were way up there. I had a guy, let me see if I can pull this up. This was the start of the season last year, and his numbers, very comparable. Zeke numbers are very comparable to Barry Sanders. And I know, put the butter knife down, but let me pull it up right quick. And shout out to my guy, Outlaw Cowboy. And here it is right here. It says right here, Ezekiel Elliott first 88 games, 1,938 touches, 109 scrimmage yards, you know, a game that's average, what have you, 68 touchdowns. Barry Sanders in his first 88 games, 1,954 touches. He averaged 118, 68 touchdowns. But I promise you, none of you guys would say, hey, give me Barry. Give me Barry. No, I promise you guys would say, give me Barry over Ezekiel Elliott, right? Everybody would like to have Ezekiel Elliott over Barry, right? Nah. Y'all would like to have Barry Sanders over Ezekiel. So, and then, of course, there's another chart line that's out there with Terrell Davis, right? And, of course, versus Ezekiel Elliott. And when I do these comparisons, analysis, people say, yell at me, they want to fight me, say, hey, different eras and things like that. So from here on out, we should never compare nobody to anyone, right? Comparisons is the robber of all joy. You know, so that's just what it is. But what I'm saying collectively is we can clearly see that it doesn't matter if you have the talent. Do you have the coaching available too? Because it's an even distribution when you have coaching plus talent. Keep in mind, and I'm going to get back to the conversation here. As great as Pat Mahomes is, I'm not even going to call him good, as great as Pat Mahomes as he is, if you go back and watch the tape of the Super Bowl, they are giving kudos and credence to Eric Bieniemy for drawing up the plays, for allowing and doing his research and his information on studying the opposition. Now, I could only imagine, instead of running those particular plays to get open for the touchdown, if they were curl routes, if they were hook routes, if they were not suitable for said quarterback. Now, some people would argue with me about this and that, but as talented as Pat Mahomes is, Eric Bieniemy and that coaching staff is just as talented. And let me put some correlations in there. As talented as Ezekiel Elliott was for us, we didn't have the equal result from the coaching staff. It makes me mad because I want you guys, remove the Dak hate off your mind. Remove the Ezekiel Elliott hate off your mind, out of your mind. Just remove it out of your mind. Just take that. I'm begging y'all, can y'all just do that for me one good time? Can y'all just do that for me one good time? And we would be looking at this from a different perspective. Can you imagine if you put Barry Sanders on this same team and have these same numbers, and you guys would be saying, man, Barry is trash. He's washed, man. He can't block because Barry can't block. He's not a good blocker. Y'all get what I'm saying? And our offensive line, we've been hurt since 2016. One can argue our offensive line was hurt in 2016. But that's the story of another day, right? But it was heftier a little bit. But 17, we had a hobbled offensive line. 18, we had a hobbled offensive line. 19, our offensive line was hobbled. Our offensive line, look, everybody that be banging on the table, talking about the offensive line was great. The time that our offensive line, ladies and gentlemen, was great and good for us was 14 and 15. We just didn't have things to match. But what I'm saying is you pick Ezekiel Elliott up, man, and you put him on another team that knew how to, that knows how to use and utilize him. It'll be a whole nother conversation. But what the Jones family done, yeah, my guy, Mr. Wright says a lot of goalposts moving around. But what the Jones family did to a third of the Cowboys, they, shout out to them, they marketing geniuses. They figured out a way to absolve themselves of all of the blame and put it back on the players, right? We knew, like, there's a Super Bowl in there between 2006 to 2000 and I will say 17, 18. There should have been at least one Super Bowl in there. And the problem been with the Cowboys front office and organization is the pride. And I ain't talking about rock, coaching. Coaching been the issue. Come on, y'all. Look, if we had legitimate coaching, let's be real, solid coaching, there should have at least been one Super Bowl between 2007. You can throw in 06, but, we understood what happened that year. But at least from 07 to 2018-ish, Maybe you can throw 19 in there. But coaching, Law, you sound like an apologist for the Cowboys now. I am, But the Jones family just need to get out the way. Law, how dare you? They were not the ones that fumbled that snap in 06. They were not the ones that went into 2007 and told everybody, hey, let's go to Cabo. They were not the ones. Was it we made it to the playoff? Was it 09 or was it 2010? And when we got dog whooped by the Minnesota Vikings. That horn still blowing in my mind, Appreciate those who support and thank you for the super chats. Thank y'all. So it's crazy, y'all. And shout out to Eric Bieniemy who can't find a head coaching job. It's that's the funniest thing. But I'm just gonna put this out there for 1 second. There's no way Jason Garrett was a head coach and Eric Bieniemy can't even get a chance. There should be no way. There should be no way. If I'm Eric Bieniemy, I'm doing a lateral job, right? Like I'm going to another job to be an offensive coordinator elsewhere. There's no way. No way. Shoot, offensive coordinator where? When I'm looking at the Eagles, their offensive coordinator plus their defensive coordinator got offers, right? Or took jobs and got head coach. No way. No way. No way. I would have been, look, he must be the worst interviewer, But even if he's a horrible interviewer, right? You got to figure out a way to say, you know what? This dude is crafting up plays, baby. And they going over giving him credit from Chiefs land. I'm just going to bring him in just for sakes. I'm going to sacrifice a year because that's what they do with other coaches out there. I don't, that's the most baffling thing ever, but neither here nor there. Let's listen to this.
Okay. I think as well, they will nail that, moving on from Zeke. It's time. No disrespect. He's my guy. I've established that over the years. But it was clear that handing him the ball was worse than any replacement running back on a roster. There's just not enough quickness anymore. It's bad to give him the ball. You're hurting your chances of winning is how I felt. So moving on from Zeke, he had a great career. You salute him and you thank him for his toughness and his great leadership that he's given to the team over these years and his durability as well. Man, the guy rarely got hurt. What a beast. But yes, it's the unfortunate reality of running backs. It's time. It's time to go retire and go find something else to do.
Okay, very good. We're all on the same page there.
All right. So Zeke is very durable. And his ability to overcome a lot is everything. Let me see if I make sure. I might have passed up on a few that sent in the super chat. Appreciate y'all so much. Can Art, let me see if I got you right here. I appreciate you so much. Can Art, let me see if I can get to it. He says, I think the front office and fans tend to fall in love with certain players. That's one. Granted. Now, before I read the rest of it, Ken Art, as a fan, I think that we should fall in love with players. I think that we should fall in love with players, but not fall blinded with players. I think that when you start polling fans, they would say, hey, their favorite player of all time, Bullet Bob, Roger Staubach, Drew Pearson, Troy Aikman. That's my favorite quarterback of all time, right? For the Cowboys, Drew is Troy Aikman, right? And why? I like Troy over Roger. Why? I've seen Troy. I got a chance to be old enough to understand Troy's game. Now, when I get a little bit more knowledge in me and learn that, hey, Roger had a rough road too. But my love is higher for Troy than it is for Roger. So I get it. I would not rob fans from that, right? But I get with what you're saying. The problem is fantasy football done spoiled the minds collectively of fans because now it's they turn the sport, instead of 11 versus 11, they turn it versus one, right? And that is a horrid problem, a horrible situation for the NFL. And Kennard says, opposed to moving on, we even do this with busted draft picks. Not talking about Dak in this statement, by the way. And this is from Kennard. And I really appreciate you, Ken. Like, I get the full conversational piece of that. And right now we root for guys to overcome. Like, as much as I couldn't stand Denver, we haven't beaten the Denver Broncos since the 90s, right? I was angry and upset to see DeMarcus Ware lift up that Lombardi trophy. But a part of me was kind of like, all right, dog, hey, shout out to him. He finally got a chance to lift that trophy up. So I get it, right? That's the modern day football fans now because of the trade, because of the way the NFL is structured. Because now a person that's drafted by a team, 9 times out of 10, he would not end with said team. But back in the older days or earlier days of football, basically, a person that was drafted by that team, 9 times out of 10, he stays with that team. But now we include money, we include so many things into the mix. Shoot. It is what it is. But it is what it is. The media made it out to be such a rigorous situation that now is 1 versus 1. So when a team lose, it's not the team lost. You know, when the Cowboys lost to the Steelers, if it was modern day time, they'd say, man, Bush Johnson, he was it Bush Johnson, right? He blew that game. Or was it Jackie Harris? Which one? I forgot it. Which one of those guys? The guy that was from Arizona. Or St. Louis Cardinals. Whatever it is. I forgot his name. Number 81. He dropped the ball. Is it Jackie Harris or was it Butch? I keep getting those names mixed up because I wasn't alive during that time frame. But you guys know that if it was modern day playing them, it was Jackie Smith. Yeah, appreciate you. I said Jackie Harris. See, I'm all everywhere. Jackie Harris played for the Steelers. Jackie Smith dropped the pass. And that's all what people would be talking about, right? They would be only talking about him. They wouldn't talk about it that he's a Hall of Famer. They wouldn't talk about his accolades and his awards previous. They would be only talking about him. He blew that game. He sucked. He's trash. They'd be having death threats to his family, his friends, and anybody else support him. They'd be saying, look at those Jackie Smith apologies, right? Or it could be inverse, and it would be like, hey, man, Roger, he choked. He should have hit him better. The pass was late. I don't know if you can get any more accurate than that, because he hit him right in between the numbers. But modern day fans, they just look at it. And only into that light. I think, I think that Roger in that game, did he throw for like 2 interceptions in that game or 3? But I get it. That's the modern day football, right? And everybody, look, here's the thing. Everybody want to be right. Nobody's wrong. Yes, indeed. Blake says, yeah, Jackie Smith was a Hall of Fame for the Cards. Yeah, and he played that 1 year for us, right? Try to get him one, and he dropped it. Let's listen to more what they had to say.
I think there's a couple other things that we can mention that they will probably nail, but is there one that you think they're going to botch? Maybe it's the Tony Pollard one, because that's kind of where I was like, man, is it going to be they're going to get the Zeke thing right, but then they're going to kind of hurt themselves in a similar fashion by giving Pollard either a big contract or the franchise tag, which is still a pretty hefty amount of change for 1 year at $10 million.
Franchise tag for Pollard isn't a huge mistake.
It's not as bad as giving them the long-term $10+ million a year deal.
When you're sitting in a cap crunch like this, though, every dollar matters, and I don't care how much you free up. Any bad dollar spent on running production is still bad money spent, and it's going to be about 4 or 5% of the cap to hang on to Pollard. So I think that, but I'll go into another.
Before he go into that, I can't look at Tony Pollard as only a running back. You got to look at him like Michael Lombardi said, as a weapon. I would not franchise him, though. I would not franchise him. When you franchise a player, that $10 million goes against the cap just like that. That's 2 players you can literally draw up a contract for long-term. A long-term deal. I'm not finna – that is another thing that the Cowboys been at odds with. They fell in love with the franchise tag. And I encourage you guys, look at the successful teams and see how often they put their players under the franchise tag. It is better to put the non-exclusive tag on Tony Pollard to see if anybody would be willing to give you a second or a third for him, right? Versus put him on the the exclusive franchise tag and say, okay, we got $10 million on you and you play this year out. But I think that the Cowboys should come to terms, figure out a 2 to 3 year contract for Tony Pollard and sign him from there. If not, let Tony Pollard walk. That would be the better solution, in my opinion. That would be the better situation because the franchise tag, to me, tends to cripple you for it's just a short-term satisfaction. That's just what it is, or gratification. That's a better way to say it. I got this dude. Look, franchise tagging Dalton Schultz last season counted $11 million. Or close to $12 million, or something along that way. That's 2 players. That's a dominant player that you could have got. You could have got 2 TJ. What was the guy? Hayden Hurst. You could have got 2 Hayden Hursts. 3 of them, really, for that price.
Same position. I think they're going to nail letting Peters go because it's obvious, too old.
Yeah.
But I think they'll fumble keeping Tyron and imagining that he can be a part of the solution, especially with Terrence Steele's availability at right tackle uncertain for the start of the year. I think they're going to hold their breath and hope instead of moving on, and it'll be about the 3rd offseason in a row they should have moved on from a broken down player.
That'll be disheartening. I think that's one that you got to move on from. It's a big $17 million cap hit for Tyron Smith, who might play 8 games.
Yeah, now the Tyron Smith is a story that never goes away. All right, so here's how the story of Tyron Smith goes. All of you guys will be banging on the table saying, hey, players should take a home team discount or hometown discount, team-friendly deal. You got literally a player that took a team-friendly deal, right? Tyron Smith, as great as he been when healthy, never was considered a top high-paid tackle. He wasn't. He wasn't even finished his contract. Just look it up. There were other guys who were drafted who played horrible within the Cowboys organization franchise, got paid more than him, right? But he had a team-friendly contract that stretched out over 5 to 7 years, close to 10 years. And he took the discount every single year. But what happened is that money get pushed and kicked and pushed and kicked. And now you're looking at it when it's time for the pay up. You're like, hey, it's time for you to cut him. So if you do this to that kid now, if you do that to this kid now, don't expect another tackle, guard, or anybody under his representation, whoever his agent is, to take those team-friendly deals. Because they can clearly see, look how you did him, right? Now, granted, the only thing, he did get his money, though. Yeah, y'all right. He did get his money. But the only thing that I would say the Cowboys would do, which would be wise, in my opinion, is to find, and I said this last night with Ashley Baker and LT who called in or what have you, and we had a great show last night. The only way you can get under this, if you can find that person who's willing to trade for him. Now, according to news and information, Tyron said that he is not willing to play for another team. Shout out to him. Kudos and credence for him that he would retire. He's only 32 years of age. He played really good. He played really good for us at right tackle. But injury's been a situation, a thorn in our side. But his overall contract been very serviceable for us. Very. And he never gave us lip. Him nor Zach Martin. I think Zach Martin is older than Tyron Smith.
I kind of feel like that they're going to botch the initial negotiations with Diggs.
In what way?
That it's going to
They'll string it out too long?
They're going to draw a line in the sand, and he's going to draw a line in the sand, and maybe there'll be some bad feelings here.
Okay.
I think that maybe when we get to the end of the month, when we get to the combine, when we get to the meetings on the bus right outside the Marriott there, we're going to hear about early negotiations. And my gut tells me it's going to be line in the sand and line in the sand.
No doubt. We have an opportunity now to, and I gave y'all the solution last night. No, what was it? Yesterday, on the episode for those who looking on Wednesday, February the 15th. You guys go back and watch that episode about pay Trevon Diggs ASAP. But before I get too far off from the running backs, tonight on the final word, we will be going over running backs. This is not a complete tier list right here because I'm still in process of evaluating, waiting for raw numbers to come through, and trust and believe this list is subject to change. So this is it's not deep right now. And it's still on the surface level. I'm not digging deep down inside first. But this list right here, I got Tier 1, Beijing, Robinson. Tier 2, Sean Tucker, Jahmyr Gibbs, Zach. And then I got Tier 3, the other Zach. And then I got Devon. I got McBride. I got Miller. I got Tanks Bigsby in Tier 4. And Spears, what have you. And the list goes on from here. Give me enough time to get my draft things in order. Now, if you guys are looking at this, which one of these running backs would help you forget about the Ezekiel Elliott right now? Which one of these running backs your favorite? And now, when I did the Gibbs situation this morning, a lot of people were saying, hey, Law, wait a minute now. You don't see the Cowboys drafting him with the first pick, do you? And I'm like, no. No. Not with the 26th pick. I think that Gibbs is more of the Tier 2 deal. You know what I mean? With the, 26th pick, the Cowboys may go with trenches down inside again, and I know that's not a popular move by most, or they may go with wide receiver. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you guys, Beijing, Robinson, okay. And then if he's not there, see how this thing goes? If Robinson is not there with the 26th pick, then who would you go with, right? Right? So I'm looking at these running backs. I'm with the mindset that in this system, if you re-up, because there's so many things that we got to look at this. If the Cowboys decide to look at my guy Ezekiel Elliott and say, okay, we will honor the pay cut and we will allow you to stay here, right? And we'll just have you in this system. And then they circle back and pay Tony Pollard. Then this could be about nothing. This could absolutely be about nothing, right? And then they go into the 4th round and get a Spears or in the 5th. If you fall all the way down to the 5th, Wouldn't that be still sufficient for you guys? Right? Would that be still sufficient? You still got Malik Davis. Look, the craziest thing of it all, in the opening statement with all of this, we haven't seen the full potential of any of these running backs. We saw a piece of it when Scott Lanahan was here with Ezekiel Elliott, just a little piece, a slither of it, right? And everything that we've seen with Tony Pollard just been by chance. By chance. Because every single week, when we go back and look at this dude, Kellen Moore's offense and the way he attacked, we're not the same. Literally, in 2021, we would see, hey, man, that was a nice setup that they did in week 2. Y'all remember that? Against the Chargers. But week 1, when we played against that team, I think it was the Bucks, right? Week 1 in 2021. I ain't talking about last year. I'm going all the way back. They didn't even utilize the running backs. So it always been a yo-yo effect. So we still don't know who Tony Pollard is, and we still don't know the collective of what even Ezekiel Elliott can and can't do. But I can look back at this list right here, and I'm going to tell y'all, look up Sean Tucker. Y'all might like Robinson, right? But shoot, Sean Tucker can do just as much things or things that Bijan Robinson can do. Tucker can do. Tucker can do it. When he creases and get to the edge, I'm like, good grief. Tucker, catch out of the backfield. He's not a slim running back. See hole, hit hole. That's all I wanted to do. No dancing. Right? There are some guys on Zach Evans. He's another guy. Shoot, let me highlight his name. Zach Evans. He crawl up out of there. Get there. This dude right here, fast. Probably the fastest guy in the whole entire draft this year. Shoot. So we don't know. We don't know how this will all look, by the way. But I can tell you guys, ladies and gentlemen, in the right system, in the right scheme, they will get things going in the right direction. And Spears, that would be a good steal. That would be a real good steal in the 4th or the 5th round. Y'all think he's going to go sooner than that? There's a lot of guys in this draft, man. Y'all think he's going to go a whole lot sooner than that? Shoot, he might fall to Tony Pollard fell to the 4th, right? And let's not forget about this guy right here. Shoot. For the football heads out there who follow the draft, where y'all got that Zach Charbonnet? Where y'all got him at? You know, as far as a running style, who do he remind you guys of? He's an all-purpose back. He can block, catch out of the backfield. Shoo. He's not slight. My only thing is when I'm looking at his tape, and the reason why I got Gibbs over him, he runs a little too tall for me. He got a lot of target up in his chest. I was like, man, I would not. He come across that thing too tall, you know. He runs a little too high. You got to get those pad levels low. But what I don't want you guys to see when you look at these tapes or highlights or all 22 and whatever you guys may be so hooked in on, right, is that will always be that player of who he is. And he would never grow from there, right? No, these guys are unfinished products. And we got to understand, too, collectively. Yeah, Eric Ray pretty good. He's way down there at tier 5. And Chris Rodriguez, Evan Hull is there, too. And Keaton, he's there, too. But what I want you guys to understand, too, is this right here. That some of these running backs, they're not running behind a Zach Martin, right? They didn't have a Tyler Smith. right? So you got to also contextualize that, right? They probably were not in a system that utilized them well, right? So when you look at Tucker and you look at when you look at Sean Tucker and you look at Bijan Robinson, right? Those are not really tangible apples to apples to compare, right? But if Robinson fool around and get, let me see, the LA Chargers select Bijan Robinson. You know what I'm saying? You may not get him. You may not get the same Robinson that you think that you would get, right? Versus if Robinson go to the Niners. If you guys get what I'm saying. Kellen Moore probably wouldn't even know what to do with Robinson, you know? Oh, my gosh. But y'all get what I'm saying, right? But shoot, Sean Tucker, he fool around and go to the Ravens or he go to the Seattle Seahawks. You got Kenneth Walker and Sean Tucker. Shoot. Y'all get what I'm saying. I hope y'all do. Some people like, nah, Law, he's going to be good no matter what system he goes to. But no, that's not the case nor the scenario. But that's just how it goes, unfortunately. So you got to get guys that can fit your system well. And I think the running back class, one thing we can all say for this season or this draft season, is a big class. So I think that you can clearly go back into this thing and say, you know what? 2 tiers in the bucket. We going balls deep in this thing, man. We don't care what it is. We going balls deep. Get rid of Zeke and Tony Pollard. We gonna be crazy and start Malik Davis and whoever we draft. It literally could be that, right? And they'll have and they'll draft, let's say for example, they draft Robinson, right? Your 2 starter running backs would be Robinson, Malik Davis, and Rico Dotto. You know what I'm saying? It could be literally that. A third of the fan base would be angry, mad, throwing furniture. And then we start off 6-0. Then they were like, you know what? Y'all remember when we was mad about not re-signing Tony Pollard and Zeke? Shoot. That's how crazy drafts is. The Niners, when they got Elijah Mitchell, nobody was thinking about Elijah Mitchell, you know. Now, granted, you know, he was serviceable for them for 2021. Then they re-up and they double back and they went and got Christian McCaffrey last year. But shoot, they was just doing just enough with Elijah Mitchell. And the only reason why they went and got Christian McCaffrey because Elijah Mitchell got hurt a little bit. You see how running back things go? Who was the running back for matter of fact, let's use Kansas City Chiefs for example. What was that kid name that was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs? You know, that running back. What was his name? Tip of my tongue. Then he went to LSU. Was he the starter running back there? No. It was Isaiah. I keep. What's his nickname? What's Isaiah's nickname? Because I keep messing his name. Pecchio. I keep missing his. What's his nickname? Y'all put his nickname in there. Clyde didn't even run that much, you know. Got his spot tooken. May the best player wins, you know. Clyde Edwards got taken, right? So that's what I want you guys to do with running backs. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Yeah. And Kareem Hunt left too, right? They got rid of Kareem Hunt too. So y'all see how it goes. So running backs, I'm not saying that running backs come a dime a dozen, but it's necessary for you to have the right system in place and things right. Pacheco. Appreciate you, man. My Mississippi slang keep jumping in and messing up things. What's the origin? What's the origin of his name? Is he Italian? Is he Latin? What's Pacheco? What is that? Is that Latin? Is that Italian? What tribe he's from? Right? Dak's still our QB. Now, I guess as you mean none of this matter, right? Well, I'm going to go back to say this right here. It's Hispanic. Okay. It's Puerto Rican. Okay. Y'all know. It's Russian. It's Dominican. Okay. That's Italian. Appreciate y'all saying. Do I look Italian? No. Cambodian. You know. I love y'all so much. Y'all gave me some good laugh today. But y'all made me lose out on my point here. Let me see if they talk with Eddie Moore, man. Hold on. Let me see what else they said.
And it's going to start off.
Get a little contentious.
I think so.
Are you foreseeing a potential Trevon Diggs holdout situation training camp?
I just don't. One of the questions I asked my guys on this morning on DallasCowboys.com was, and we talked about it yesterday, which one of the negotiations do you think is going to be easiest for the Cowboys? And I think we talked about that maybe the CeeDee Lamb negotiation is going to be easier because maybe Diggs sees himself as this, and rightfully so. If, Diggs really believes that he is is one of the elite corners in this draft, and the Cowboys think, no, you're pretty good. We don't see you as elite. It harkens back to that time when what they did with Byron Jones.
No doubt. Oh, all right. So will we trust replacing all of our offensive weapons from last year, not named Lamb, to a late-round draft pick, knowing how much the run game is important for Dak Prescott? Success. Running backs do just enough, but wide receivers, no. Coach, man, you're a philosopher, Coach Marv. Coach Marv is a philosopher. You're a philosopher, Marv. All right. So, Coach, I wasn't even ready for this one. All right. So, who do I trust? I look at Dak Prescott. You got to have a good running game. I don't want to see Dak Prescott. I don't care if it's West Coast, East Coast, North, South offense. I need Dak Prescott 24 to 27 attempts. I need for him to have a good running game situation. I need for Lamb to be Lamb. But here's what I want. And I don't think it's asking for a lot. Establish the run the ball, create things so that the Dak Prescott can eat with the play actions and get another explosive wide receiver. It's literally the same request. Let me do this right quick. I'm looking at it. It's literally the same request that we saw. The same request that we saw out of Russell Wilson. Good running game, led off of play action. Talented quarterback when it's a simple situation and process. But when you threw too much at him and you never established the run, you seen what doggone Russell Wilson looked like. 2 years ago, no one is calling Russell Wilson out of his name. 4 years ago, every man that's in here would say, yes, Russell, you can marry my daughter, right? Yes, you invite him to your church. Russell Wilson, model citizen, right? On and off the field. Now now nobody won't even come close to Russell. 1 year, a difference of 1 year. Russell is what's on the bottom of most people's feet now. Now let's see what Sean Payton can do. But the same degree that I held, or people was looking at Russell Wilson, could be the same thing for us over here in Dallas. Create situations, run game, an explosive wide receiver on the opposite side of CeeDee Lamb. Right? They had Tyler Lockett and they had DK Metcalf. What round was DK Metcalf drafted in, by the way? Yes, indeed. What round was he drafted in? I think he was second. Russell fell off the mount. This is from A-Row. I feel you, though. But 2-3 years ago, shoot, you let him date your daughter, right? Oh, hey, it's past curfew now. Y'all can stay a little longer, you know. Is that a drink in your hand? No, I think that's just Kool-Aid. Third, right? DK was an early third or second. Okay, so find somebody. Not saying that you got to go spend and mortgage your future for it. But if you really want a known commodity, and if the money is right, then get you a veteran, but not one that's like a James Washington. Yes, indeed. I just recall that we drafted Tristan Hill over DK Metcalf. I was banging on the table to go get I thought for sure either we was going to get Metcalf or Warren Thornhill. But that's the story of another day. Let's see the difference the coach make, because we will find out for Denver, right, what difference the coach make. And if Russell is still the same Russell, if Russell's still the same Russell from last year with a new coach, then I'll say y'all all right. I will eat pistachio ice cream live on air. We'll see what difference that will make. And for those because that was who a lot of people said Dak Prescott was, right? And I know people were saying, Dak is the black Kirk Cousins and all of that. But his numbers and everything is more of the line of a Russell, minus the 2 Super Bowl appearances, right? That's how I look at it. Coach Marv Law, how we handled the running back situation will tell you what the identity will be on the offense, on this offense. Facts. Yeah, there's no rebuttal to that. The identity of this team need to be run the ball, right? Open up the passing, and then just take what the defense is giving you. Don't force it. I like how my guy Sky says it. Check touchdown or check down. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I like that. Simple. Keep it simple and keep it moving. Right? Coach Marv is right on the money, man. Pistachio ice cream is delicious. Come on, man.
That whole thing, and they let Byron Jones Byron Jones, you're playing well. Great. He's not getting the turnovers and stuff like that. But I kind of have a feeling that maybe they'll say, you know what? We're going to draft these corners. Heck, we found Bland. We'll draft another one at 26 in this draft that could be opposite. I just have a feeling that this is going to be a tough negotiation.
I don't think these are the kind of players you want to fool with in negotiations, especially with his brother being Stephon. Talked about it yesterday, sent a strong message to that family that the Cowboys are big fans of the Diggs family. But I could see it happening. It's just not worth it. He's a damn good corner. He's one of the best corners. Find me your great corners that don't have some hole in their game. I don't really think they exist. I don't think we're at a time where there's a Deion Sanders or a Darrelle Revis out there. Everybody's got some kind of issue. And Diggs more than makes up for his. I would just ask him, we're going to pay you. Can you try to really tackle now?
I don't care if tomorrow somebody paid Trevon Diggs $1 billion. That's not going to improve his tackling. And tackling, yes, it's a will, it's a mindset. We talked about this before. You can put them in all type of clinics, and it just what it is. I showed you guys. Yeah. Somebody said, "Play, come on, man."
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
$1 billion, Trevon Diggs going to make that tackle. He's going to be like, man, come on, man. And some players are just like that, And that's just what it is. That's just how some players are built. He's just slender. He looks like a wide receiver out there, right? He just looked like that. Now, can he come down and field? Yeah. that even looks awkward. Like that big play, y'all said, hey, Lord, check out that play that he made against the Rams or somebody, I forgot, with the team. That dude laid with all shoulders. He tackled the same way. He's not a rap tackler, you know. He's not that. And what you're seeing is a conversion ratio of Trevon Diggs, who was a wide receiver, probably played wide receiver all through elementary, middle school, high school, and then converted himself into defense, and he tackled just like he literally. It was the Bengals game. Appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you for that elephant memory. He looked like when y'all see an interception occur and y'all look at how those wide receivers tackle, that's Trevon Diggs. Have you ever seen a wide receiver tackle? The best wide receiver tackle I ever seen was Julio Jones. Julio Jones was the only wide receiver that I seen tackle. And I said, shoot, Julio will make a hell of a strong safety. And it was against us. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? Who remember that? Julio made that. I said, God, dog, Julio need to be a strong safety, dog. Riggs, I feel you. Make that tackle, Riggs. Riggs. Make that tackle, Riggs. Oh, my gosh, man. That's just what it looks like, man. And granted, you can put him in all type of coaching clinics and these sorts of things, but that's just who he tackled. DK Metcalf, he know how to tackle well. I'm going to have to go back and watch his tackling technique. But that's how Trevon Diggs tackled. He tackled like a wide receiver. Some people just don't have good ball security when they run the ball. They just don't. I'm like, dude, why are you running the ball like that? Why are you holding the ball like that? Y'all remember Prime? He would pick off the ball and he would. This how Prime. This literally how Prime. When he had the ball in his hand, this how Prime ran with the ball. I said, no, but if I can catch him, I'll knock that ball out of his hand. But Prime is not good at holding the ball. That joker will run like this. Who remember that? That's how Prime run the ball. That's how he held the ball. Let me know if I'm wrong. That joker, and you be like, man, if I can just catch him, I'd knock that ball clean out of his head. He's supposed to be holding it high and tight. You know what I'm saying? Some people just don't do things well. DeMarco Murray had a little bit in there too with him. You know, he was like, dude, put the ball right here, man. Now, let me stop talking about DeMarco Murray, make me all mad again, you know. But some people just, some techniques that people just don't do. One guy, it took all of his career to get it right. And what was his name? I think Bad Dog said that he was better. He was a better running back than Emmitt Smith. Y'all remember that conversation? Tiki Barber. Y'all remember him? You just on Madden way back when it wasn't even high definition. You touch Tiki Barber, especially on Tecmo Bowl. You just look at Tiki Barber. You know, there's a fumble. Y'all's a fumble ball on the field. Dude just didn't know how to hold the ball high and tight, man. Who else had a situation where you see flaws in their game? Let me tell y'all something. Aeneas Williams, who remember him? Aeneas, I think that he wouldn't even be able to play in this day football, in modern day football. That joker will hold you the whole entire way. He'll just grab and hold the entire way. It worked on all of those wide receivers, but it never worked on the playmaker. Shoot. Playmaker was so strong. He'll try to get in there. He'll go, get that hand out of the way and get upfield and get that. Was it Aeneas, right? Aeneas Williams, right? Y'all remember him? So sometimes you just going to have to deal with it. My best thing would be, hey, Diggs, I just need for you to at least get in the way. Attempt better, right? Mentally. I want you to come down and feel we got safety help over the top. Right? Yeah. So, yeah, and Irvin will push off. Yeah, Irvin. See, Irvin knew how to not let that elbow extend. He'll gradually push from the inside. Yeah. So those are ways that we have to look at that. And I know I stretched that point out real long right there, but you guys get what I'm saying. So expecting Diggs to be like that guy to come down the field, you're not paying money for that. You're paying money for Diggs for them not to throw the ball that way. That's what you're paying money for. Not to attempt to throw the ball that way. You can try to run it. That's why you should have your linebacker hook the flat on that side, and fourth side should be on Diggs' side.
Oh, now that you have secured generational wealth, it's football. There's got to be some tackling and hope for the best on that. Hope to coach him up, maybe get him on a program.
See, I think that's going to be the problem. I think they're going to ask him to do something like, "What do you mean? I intercept passes. I do this. I did." Well, we need you to become more of a complete player. Yeah. We think you're really good, and you could be.
Somebody said Hurts fumbled without even touching the ball. Yeah. Hands were slippery, right? Without anybody touching them. Yeah. Hurts does love fumbling. Yeah, y'all, you know how it goes, man. Hurts, hold on to the ball, man. You're going to have the Eagles crying, Hurts. Cry, Eagles, cry. Hurts. Hey, man. Can you imagine? Look. Can you imagine playing the Madden game and you drop back and you just sitting there, you patting the ball, you finna go, and you just roll to the right, and then all of a sudden your quarterback fumble? Man, that would mess me up, man. Hush your mouth now. I ain't talking about you too much, Eagles. But at least we was there, y'all. We was there. Oh, my gosh, man. Don't y'all know y'all will rip that console out of the wall or out of the gaming system and throw it away and never to play it again? You will call it rigged. You know what I'm saying? You will break that controller. There's no way you will keep a normal face by fumbling the ball. Like you drop back. You would be mad. You would go to Madden himself, dig him up out of the grave and say, Madden, how dare they put this code up in here that all of a sudden I drop back and the ball is out of my head? And don't y'all know that Eagles fans have the nerve to say, well, at least in the last 28 years or such, we got a chance to see our team there. No, that's not a good feeling, man. That's not a good feeling to be laid out like Family Guy. I've seen my brother 2 times, go to the Super Bowl to lose. And I would pat my brother on the back, said, hey, man, twin, it's going to be all right. But secretly, I'm laughing like, I feel your pain, dog. No, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Because every Super Bowl I witnessed, we won. So I would rather go all the way there to witness a win, right? It don't matter if I didn't have facial hair or not versus going all the way there to be the team that lose. I don't want that. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't even want us, believe it or not, if the year 2023, we go all the way to the Super Bowl and lose, I wouldn't even want us to go to the Super Bowl. I promise y'all, I wouldn't want that. I'll be sick. I'll be sick to my stomach. Y'all be like, Law, when you going live, Law? Law Nation, when you going live? What happened to you, man? Did you shave your beard off, Law? Watch, somebody gonna say, when we go to the Super Bowl next year, somebody gonna say, Law jinxed us, dog. Oh my gosh, man. Y'all gonna forget this day. Y'all gonna forget this day, though. I didn't jinx us, So when we go to the Super Bowl next year, I didn't jinx us because we gonna win, right? We gonna win. But if we gonna get there, Because can you imagine the dude that took Beyonce to the prom and he said, yeah, man, I took her to the prom. Everybody looking at it like, dog, but you ain't Jay-Z, dog. What you doing? Well, I work at Walmart, man. I work in the electronic department, but I took her to the prom. Man, you lying. No, I took her to the prom, dog. Me and Beyonce. Who want to be that guy? That's who all the Eagles are right now. They are literally the people that said, hey, man, I took Beyonce to the prom, man. Let me leave him alone, man. Wait a minute, I'm sorry.
Be even better if you just give us a little bit more, on that the physicality
And
side.
I'm a fan of not paying your own guys just because you got them, but I think Diggs is close enough to the best corners in the game.
He is
I'm not for paying barely Pro Bowler like he's a Hall of Famer. But I'm up for paying definite Pro Bowler, possible All-Pro like he is at the top of his position, and I think that's what Diggs is.
All right, 877-881-1053, the Cowboy decision you think they're going to nail this offseason, the one you think they're going to botch. You have the 940 saying the wide receiver group will be fixed. They will nail that, but the running back room will be botched. And there is a very real possibility of that. Hopefully they get the wide receiver room. Like, I think they botch it with the wide receivers if they just think they can get the year-over-year improvement from Gallup and Tolbert and feel like we're cool. And they wait till, like, round 4 to bring in a receiver, and then they do, like, some type of James Washington vet guy that comes in that's more than likely not going to work out. Like, I think wide receiver needs to be addressed in a pretty substantial way, at least in the first 3 rounds and ideally in the first 2.
Oh, shout out to you. I am awake, man. Shout out to him. And Mods, how's my guy doing, man? I know you still on probation, man. Y'all let me know, man. Give me a thumbs up if my guy, my brother from another mother, is okay, man. Is he a good mod? He haven't been timing people out for nonsense, though, right? So I appreciate you, man. He haven't crossed the burning sands yet. He's still on probation, man. He's still trying to earn it. You know what I mean? He's been doing good. Okay, good. Jay Lombardi, you know what I'm saying? He's the overseer. Him and Sadiq, they some good mods over there. So they said you've been doing pretty good, fam. So keep it up. Keep up the good job. I really appreciate you so much, man. I am awake. I know for sure that I can get one view out of you. You know what I mean? I know I'm getting one review. I know I'm getting one view out of you because every time I'm alive, you live, and I love that, and I really appreciate you. So when I make it real big, right? When I make it real big, man, this is what I'm thinking. I'm finna talk Ray Boom Boom Room. When I make it real big, bro, I'm gonna call all my mods. We're gonna go and celebrate, maybe on Jerry Jones' yacht. We're gonna go celebrate on Jerry's yacht. And I'm like, I'm awake. We got you near the waters, man. We're going to throw you over. Nah, maybe just play it. We won't do that to you, man. But appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, though. In other news, too, Cowboy Nation, I truly believe that the wide receiver room will be okay. Hear me out. I had my thoughts, and I sat down with it, and I sat down with my thoughts about this, and I said, you know what? No more option routes, no more comeback routes. You can still run them, but not on a consistent basis. And we're going to be a run-first team, and we're going to have this West Coast offense. Now, it's not a detriment that we go and get a wide receiver with the 26th pick. I still believe you go with BPA, but this should be a clean wash and not just putting deodorant on a stinky situation. Last year, we just put deodorant on it with the James Washington, with the Michael Gallup, with the Jalen Tolbert, with the Simi Fehoko, with the Brandon Smiths, with the Noah Brown. We didn't take a clean bath. And that's what we've been living with in these last 3 years. We didn't take a clean bath. We kept some funk right there. We missed the whole armpit and wondering why we were stinking, right? Wonder why we was funky. And now we done clean up all of that. That issue is gone, and we should see some true football right now, right? So what I'm saying is that wide receiver is a need, but it's not wide receiver is back to a want and not a need if we do the right thing in the free agency. That's all I'm saying. All right? Y'all get what I'm saying? But, Law, what about Jalen Hyatt? What about, these other wide receivers that we can go out there and grab? I don't have my cheat note. Where my cheat notes at? Where my cheat notes? Here are my cheat notes. But, Law, what about Rasheed Rice? What about Cedric Tillman? Quentin Johnson? I think Quentin Johnson gone, right? Jackson Smith or what have you. I just want us to get into this draft with the 26th pick. Think trenches, right? Think warfare. Think about the interior. I want us to do that. And if you get a wide receiver in the second and third round, that would not be us rushing. But if you go with the BPA philosophy, then you okay, right? Yep. Y'all get what I'm saying. All those look at my guy Jetson. All of those wide receivers you can get in the second round, right? One can argue you can get some of these wide receivers in the third. That's what I'm saying. So it's not that much of an issue. And if you really want to press it a little bit, depending on where Michael Gallup is at and with his recovery, you can go get a free agent wide receiver. Just not to the levels of James Washington. All right, let's go.
Their way of fixing the wide receiver room might be sign Odell Beckham.
Interesting note on that. And the other team that was in on OBJ, obviously, the Bills, they just brought in Adam Henry, wide receivers coach, was with the Cowboys, was in New York with OBJ, or at LSU with OBJ. Right. There's that tie there, and now he is going to Buffalo. That happened in the last couple of hours, and so people are already connecting maybe OBJ ends up in Buffalo, which was one of the top 3 or 4 teams that he was considering anyways.
Well, I tell you what, if they're going to have $25 million in space and give 15 of it to OBJ and 10 of it to Pollard, I will not even consider being optimistic about this upcoming season. That'd be a massive disappointment to end up with a player like that.
Hell no, I would not do that. You shouldn't give Odell Beckham $15 million. Odell Beckham, if you do, let's say for example, let's play that game. If you do, then that should be stretched out for 3 years. Why? That's when that big money hit, right? And then Odell Beckham will be the age by the time that contract resolves itself, the age of T.Y. Hilton. But if I'm paying Odell Beckham, I'm initially looking at Odell Beckham and saying, hey, I get it. You want to be a $20 million a year guy, $15, $16 million a year guy, but we got to make sure that we can land this plane correctly. This will be us putting money to you without landing gear, meaning that we're going to crash when it comes down to the end. So I need for you to have this option right here, a prove it deal. And then we can reconsider, anything north of that. I need to see what you can do, baby. And that should have been the same conversational piece with Michael Gallup. Law, do you have any truth to this? Yes. Let's say if the Cowboys, hear me out, said, Michael, we allow you to test the market. We allow you to see what other teams are willing to pay. You coming off of that ACL tear. And quite sure he probably would have tested the market and probably no other teams would have jumped at him. Probably. And then they could have gave him a real shallow offer and said, prove it. You don't have to franchise tag him. Right? And let me ask you guys this. If the Cowboys would have put Michael Gallup on a 1-year prove-it deal or a 2-year prove-it deal, kind of like what they did with Dorrance Armstrong, would we be having the conversation now about re-signing Michael Gallup? What would be y'all thoughts right now, honestly speaking? What would be y'all thoughts? I'm gonna poll y'all. Poll y'all why we doing this. Would you say, based upon 2022, would you be saying, okay, let's bring Michael Gallup back now for $60 million? I don't think Michael Gallup will be talking about, yeah, man, y'all got to understand, I'm coming off of an ACL, man. Give me my $60 million. right? Prove it deal, you know. I'm reading all y'all comments. They rushed Gallup back. You know, it's from John. They rushed Gallup back. Right. Yep. Nope. I see a lot of nopes. Zeke probably want a tank type of extension. I don't see that happening, though. Ooh. I see a lot of no's. No. On an open, I think Gallup overall contract was like $60 million. 5-year deal. It's a real nice contract. 5-year deal, $60 million, something along those ways. And he's not counting that much against the cap. But, you know, I think it counts about $13 million this year, though. It counts a little bit heavier, and you don't want to touch that one. Gallup may be the all-world next year, this year, or what have you. Let me ask y'all this, too. On an open market last year, Dalton Schultz, what would have been his rate? Because he would have had Dalton Schultz last year, if you allow him to test the market, he would be getting, and I know this is about money though, and I'm just being open with y'all. And that's why I say franchise tags are trash to me. The tag. He would have been north of what Dallas Goedert would be making. On an open market, would that team that paid Dalton Schultz last year north of Dallas Goedert, would they be resenting that? Or would they be like, hey, man, you know, we got a Dallas Goedert type of tight end? So the Cowboys literally outpriced themselves with their own analogy of, with their own solution of franchise tagging Dalton Schultz. Please don't unblock me again. You know, if Dalton Schultz blocked me, then he unblocked me. Don't block me again when I say that, you know, because right now, guess what his market value is now? It's about $15 million. So are you willing to pay that now based off of what he did last year? And there's no shade at Dalton Schultz. Who's willing to give him that contract now? I wish I had my cheat notes from what I had last year. I might still got it up here. I hope I didn't never delete it. Let's see if that's tight end tape. Nope, that's not that tape. Oh, if I had this tape of the tight ends that got paid, I would. Ooh, I do. All right, hold on. Let me get this one up off of there. Oh, I do. Oh, I do have it in my Rolodex here. Let me see. Boom. Oh, I still had it up there, y'all. Bear with me. Yes, indeed. Y'all see that? And when I was saying that, there's no way. And see, here's the problem when we do these type of shows. Look, we be right, but we be holding the wrong all year until the end of the year. Then people say, you know what, Law? You were right. You know what I'm saying? Just like I was talking to my guy, Boss Cowboy, about that. You know, the OC, they were right about Terrence Steele. But they had to hold that L all the way for a whole year before people realized, hey, man, you know what? You was right about Terrence Steele. See, a lot of people don't like us when we be telling the truth. And then when the truth come out, hey, man, you know what? Y'all was right, man. Y'all was right the whole time, man. Schultz is a baller, right? So his value, all of his stats and his accolades for what he did in 2021 was north of what Dallas Goedert had, right? Or north of what Dallas Goedert was getting. So he was looking to reset the market. So his price tag, his price point was right there with the Travis Kelce, with the George Kittles. Not George. Yeah, Kittles. Yeah, that's his name, right? Kittles. Yeah, George Kittles. Yeah. Mark Andrews. So my thing is test the market. Right? I think they try to put a tender. When they put that tender on him and nobody beat down the door to say, yeah, we'll give you a second or we'll give you a third, the Cowboys front office should have been like, you know what, ain't nobody said it. We're going to take that tender. We remove, it should have been literally. And this is not me throwing any hate or shade. Breaking news, the Cowboys released that tender that they had on Dalton Schultz. They're going to allow him to test the market. You could have saved that amount of money. Shoot, Jake Ferguson, Peyton Hendershot, they were looking good to me. You know, so that is how I view it, right? Schultz, I get with you, dog. But I want my man Zeke out of Dallas. Go get a ring because it may not happen in Texas. Appreciate you. Boy Wonder was holding him back. Yeah. Cat Boy. Yeah, you're right with that. It goes away. Cat Boy Wonder was holding him back. Yeah. Cat Boy was holding him back, holding y'all back. Yeah, Choctaw. Here's my thoughts with this. He's not a bad tight end. He's not. But when you put those franchise tags, baby, it leads to overpaying folks, man. It leads to it. Like, it's the same situation for Dak. It's the same situation for D-Law, too. Those tags, man, they put you in a bind, man. They do. Unfortunately. That's just how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I could say it other ways, but I can't. You know, let me see. Dalton Schultz. Let me make sure I'm right on Schultz, man, because we gonna find out one way or another. Yep. I was right. His market value, because those contracts are dated, he's going to reset the market. Let me see, and this is no shade upon no one. Let me see if I can find this right there. Dalton Schultz. Done. Boom. Was I right? Was I right last year? Law, you don't know what you be talking about, Law. Yeah, but I do know those numbers, though. You know what I mean? Was I right? $15.1 million. I said what I said. All it will do is still elevate his price tag, and you will end up paying more money for him if you want to keep him. And I'm going to tell you, there's nothing wrong with good old Dalton Schultz, believe it or not. He's remarkable. He's spectacular. But we still shouldn't have franchise tagged him. Here's another thing about market value. Teams tend, that's the floor basically. Teams tend to go north of that. They go north of that value right there. Law, do you believe? Here you go, my guy, right here. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can read that. Up, and away. Here we go. He said, Law, do you believe now Schultz with less than 600 yards and 50 reception values is $15 million? BS, this year Schultz may get $6 million per year. Yep. Coach Marv, the philosopher Coach Marv. That's his market value, though, Coach. That's on the open market. We'll find out. But he's not, in my opinion, if I'm his agent, if I'm his rep, I'm saying that, hey, he missed a few games. He had a PCL tear or bruised PCL. And if I'm his agent, I'm actually going the blame game. I want my client to get $15 million. So I'm blaming the offensive coordinator. I'm blaming Dak Prescott. I'm trying to get my client $15 million. I'm trying to get my client. If I'm his rep, if I'm his agent, I'm saying that Schultz is that guy. Remember that? Remember, Coach? If you've seen it once, you can see it again. He had a down year because of his injury. And I'm looking at it, too, from the fact that this guy is still 26 years of age, right? So those are things that we will all contextualize it. Like, what did David Njoku do this year, right? And John O. Smith, John O. Smith, I think that he was available. We should have got him, scooped him up for less money, what have you. But I get what you said, though, Coach Marv. His rate that went down just like this. But last year, hear me out, last year, if you allowed him to test the open market, I truly don't think that a team would have been paying him north of what Mark Andrews, Dallas Goedert, and Travis Kelce and George Kittle was making. Anyhow, I think David Njoku, the reason why he got that crazy money, and let me just see, because I haven't really, I don't want to, let me see what he did last year. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm going overtime now, y'all. I'm supposed to been off, but David Njoku. Let me go. Let me see, type this in right. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me see what he did last year. And shoot, David Njoku did exactly what he normally do every year. Hold on, Coach. Boom. He did exactly what he normally do any year. 58 receptions, 628 yards, 4 touchdowns. So that strengthens Dalton Schultz rep. Let me see Dalton Schultz. Let me see. Hold on, y'all bear with me. If you're representative of Dalton Schultz, see how this thing go, man? Because the win-loss record is not how they base these contracts on. It's all about productions and things like that. So, yeah. If you Dalton Schultz rep, you would say, well, my client caught touchdown passes in the playoff, and he was injured this year. He had 86 targets. He had 57 receptions, 5 tubs. I want David Njoku money. That would be the floor. That would be where they start the negotiations at, right? That would be the floor, right? So Kelsey said that Jake Ferguson is the upcoming tight end. Yep, I remember him saying that too. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Boy, y'all can say whatever y'all want about Zeke, but he has made your defense tougher, and he's a threat to them in practice. But I would tell you, there's a lot of teams that would like to have Zeke, basically. Let me give you a horn for that. Yes, indeed. Those are the intangible things that, that people always bring about. Yeah, and then we got Paul over here. Kelsey said that Jake Ferguson is the next up-and-coming tight end. See, that's how it goes, y'all, man. I know I went over time, but I want to appreciate I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. And Law will be going on vacation mode. Let me give y'all these dates. Let me give you 1 second. On March the 2nd, I'll be out of town or what have you, but I really appreciate y'all so much. Me and the family, we're going to be gone during this offseason, so March the 2nd, around that time frame, we'll be getting on up out of here. And I really appreciate y'all so much, man, for all what y'all do for the nation. There'll be some bigger and better things around the corner. Be sure to tune in tonight's show. We're going to be going over running backs or what have you. And I just kind of threw this little piece in at the end of it with the tight end. But we'll be going over running backs that's out of this draft and some of the Ezekiel Elliott philosophy. But of to cut, to release, break down his pay or what have you, and things like that. But it is what it is, Cowboy Nation. Let's continue. Law franchise tag by the Cowboys, $30 million. I want 40, man. I'm greedy. And I'm just playing. Shoot, they give me $3 million. I'll probably disappear for a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? Hey, what happened to Law, man? Break your nose, Law, that ain't. Breaking news, the Cowboys signed Law Nation to a $3 million one-year contract, negotiable at the end of terms there, you know. What happened to Law, man? Where he goes, man? What the truth, man? I thought Law Nation couldn't be bought, man. Shoot, the Cowboys solely bought him. And then there'll be another Law Nation 3.0 somewhere talking the same stuff with a mask on like this. Yeah, man. Yes, indeed. But it is what it is. Law in Bermuda. Yup, I wouldn't leave y'all that long because at the end of the day, we will all do this for free. And we will all do this without one single person liking nor subscribing and sharing. Because when you find something about passion, something that you love more than you like, you will sit back and talk about it all day. Because real talk, these are the things that I was having conversations with before the camera was turned on. Believe it or not, these are the things that we have conversations with before I knew any of you all. And I really appreciate y'all so much. But now I love the fact that I can talk to my people, whether it's good, bad, happy, or sad, about a team that I love. Some days I wish I only liked this team, right? But I'm in love with this team. Law, remember, on the final word, running backs, how it handled will tell us the importance of the run game. Yeah. Whether we go draft a Gibbs, whether we go draft a Bejan, Robinson, right? Or whoever we go get out here in these parts, right? It could be any of those guys. Are they locked in? Are they rooted in? Do they have a tenacity? Dude, Zach Evans, can he run between the A gap, knowing that the linebacker's coming down? Davon, yes, he's fast, but can he catch the ball in the flat, turn and get upfield? Can Sean Tucker stand into the gap when that linebacker or safety shooting through the B gap to block, to protect your quarterback? These are the small things that they must do. Can they hold on to the ball when it's 3rd and short? Can they give you 12 touchdowns in the red zone? Because those are the things that even Ezekiel Elliott was able to do, right? 12 times. He punched it in for us. The dude, for all of the things that he did, it goes unseen, teaching and elevating other guys like the Malik Davis, telling them where to hold the ball at, right? The intangibles, the things that we don't see. Can you get that out of a rookie? Those are things that we got to contextualize too. So what we do in this draft, yes, we would know what the Cowboys' plan will be for the future of this team. Write this down. I say this all the time on closing, right? Shout out to the old school helmet. For those who giving donations, your name is entered in to win said helmet. This is the 1960 Dallas Cowboys helmet. We'll be giving this away. So hit that like, share this content. We're giving this one away. I would love to see the Cowboys play with this helmet on. But write this down. If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for, to work day and night for, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad enough that you don't get tired of it, and it makes you all hold all other things tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you will gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, and plan for it, and lose all terror of your mind, if you will simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength and scarcity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold, poverty, famish, or fame can turn you away from the thing you want, if dogged and grim and besiege and beset it with the help of Almighty. You will get it. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go. I just want to run it up, baby. Come on. Who gonna win his helmet, baby? Let me know. All you gotta do is support the nation, subscribe to the nation. Your name will be entered into the drawing. I will let you guys know when we're gonna pull those names. We're gonna put it on the wheel of law, you know, and we're gonna pull it. And I want to see somebody wear this old school helmet. Shout out to Inside the Huddle too. Shout out to them. They let me know that I will be the new host of Inside the Huddle. So y'all check us out for the upcoming season. This is season 29. They've been around for a long time. One of their first guest hosts for Inside the Huddle, Tony Romo, right? So we working out some good things, getting some studios here in Dallas. We're getting some locations down together. So as I grow, we all grow. Yes, and also Inside the Huddle is shot on 33 local TV stations. So your boy is almost there, baby. You know, the last host of Inside the Huddle was Jane Slater. So we may have her come in and out of these episodes for the year of the 29th season of Inside the Huddle. But we'll find out and give y'all more and more details as time permits. But in the meantime, in the between time, as I grow, we all grow. And my vision would be to have all of y'all beautiful people at one of the events. So I really appreciate y'all. It's wonderful news, good news for you all, and good news for me too. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. That's been my time again. Let's roll those credits. I told you, mama, I'm going to be on TV, mama. Come on. And yes, I'm bringing everybody along the way. Whether you like it or not, you covered. I said, man, wait a minute, I don't want to be on TV. Well, but you're here now. You're on TV with the law. Inside the Huddle. Starring Coach Marv, Choctaw, Montana. Paul, you know, all of y'all. I said, Law, what you want to do? I still want the comments on the screen. So also, y'all mods, man, y'all gonna have to be real into. Yes, indeed. I don't think we'll have 15 to 20 minute delays when it's national TV, but y'all know how it goes, right? Well, let's go, Cowboy Nation. With the 26th pick. Yes, indeed. Oh, you just hit my Cash App? I would check that out. You know, Law Nation, we do run a for-profit, organization over here. FBI, open up! Hey, calm down. Come on. For-profit too, Boom. Channel 13, baby. Yes, indeed. Channel 11, I believe, too. So shout out to all of y'all, man. Can you imagine I do the call-in, and then we'll have Queen call in. And I still be like on national TV, she's your queen to be. Can you imagine my guy, Voch Lombardi, we do the war call for him on national TV. And my guy, DOC and Boss Cowboys Sports, Dracarys. Big Game James. I'm going to tell Big Game James now. Hold on, Big Game James. Come on, Big Game. Wait a minute. Y'all show my face again. Can you imagine Big Game James? He calling my guy Stephen Jones baby nuts on national TV. Well, local TV, by the way. No, I won't have big. I had to put something on Big Game James. Not to say baby nuts. Don't say baby nuts. Maybe tiny nuts. Maybe tiny grapes. Oh my gosh, man. I'm just playing with y'all. Let's go. I can hear Brandon Ross right now. He call in. That can't hit. Everything got to be perfect. Dak is trash. After we done won like 33 to like 7 because he threw an interception. Baby grapes, yeah. Shout out to C-Los. Appreciate you. Hit my note right here. I follow. Run the ball, baby. Until next time, DC for life.